Welcome to something that feels a little bit more like summer, especially where I am here in the southeast of the UK. For a few weeks now, the hedgerows have been lined with cow parsley flowers. Although I live in a town, I'm lucky enough to be next to some green spaces, so I've seen them there. This week, the swifts arrive, which is always a favourite of mine, as they swoop and screech across the sky. Such a sound of summer. And another thing that's happened this week is that elderflowers from the elder tree have come into bloom. They're beautiful, delicate, creamy white flowers with a really heady scent. And from them, you can make elderflower cordial. You can buy it quite readily in the shops, but if you'd like to have a go yourself, then you absolutely can. And you can turn it into little gifts or keep them for yourselves for adding to sparkling water, sparkling wine, to give you that real taste of summer. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how it's done. I've had a few issues with my tripod today, so what I'll do, I will just pop you down. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. If you need any of the ingredients, then everything is listed in the show notes above. I will also talk you through as we go. Now, I've given you instructions or ingredients for just over 1.5 litres. Now, I'm only going to make a smaller amount today. Now, that's because I like to consider myself as a responsible forager, because one of the first things that you're going to need to do is to collect your flowers. So you want to make sure that the flowers are fully in bloom, like so. Make sure that you are picking them not from private land, because actually it's illegal to pick flowers or anything that's from private land. Make sure that you don't break any branches as you collect these. Some of these are really high up. Just leave them. Leave those for the bees, leave those for the birds when these turn into their elderberries. So collect ones that are low down, that are easy to reach. Also, another thing to make sure is that you are actually picking elderflowers. So this time of the year, there's quite a few sort of these, I can never remember the word. It sounds like umbrella. It means that sort of shaped flower. There's quite a few of those around at the moment. So make sure what you're picking are elderflowers. Again, in the countryside, you mustn't, don't dig up anything. So really just take what you need as well. You may find a tree that's absolutely covered in them. Just take a few. If you've got elderflowers where you are, then there's bound to be another elderflower tree a little further along the lane, along the path, because these do self-seed quite readily. So just take a few from each tree. Don't totally kind of strip a tree of all of its flowers. So it's just some really nice responsible foraging tips there, which leads me to why I'm only making half of the recipe that I've given you the ingredients for today. Because when I went out this morning to pick, and this morning is a perfect morning because it's sunny, the pollen will be very high, the petals will be dry, nice and dry. Now, the reason I'm only making half is because there weren't actually that many around. Lots are still in bud, waiting. So probably this time next week, there'll be lots more. But again, I didn't want to strip the whole tree. I wanted to leave some for the bees, some for other people. So I went around and I collected only half of the flowers that I will need from it was probably about between 6 and 7, 8 trees. So it took me a little while, but it was a nice morning. I had the time. I was listening to the birds. I was in the sun. It's a really nice activity to do. So I made sure that all of the flowers I picked, as I say, were fully opened. I'm going to go through them in a minute, and any little brown flowers, any that are sort of just going off, you need to pick those out. Also, you don't want any insects in these, quite obviously. So when you get home, I just sort of stood outside my back door and I just gave them each a little shake, just to make sure there was no insects left on them. And I'm just going to do another little check now to make sure that's all okay, and take off any brown ones. So that's actually, You can see there's quite a few brown ones on there, so I might just leave that to one side. Maybe just a few too many. They all look good. That's not actually brown, that's just the colour of the bark or the stems. Let's go. That one's just going over, so we'll take that one off. Just the last few. So you're just going to pick through your flowers. Let's just to a few brown ones that have ended up there. This one's got a few little brown ones on, so we'll take those off. And then we can start making our cordial. So all your ingredients are in the video caption above. I'm going to start with a bowl and some sugar. So you'll look at the ingredients and think that is a lot of sugar, and you'd be right, it is. But because this is going to be diluted, once it's all made, you're going to be diluting it with either sparkling wine or sparkling water, or maybe just using it just in a quick fruit salad. Then it's not as bad as it might seem. So for the recipe above, use 1 kilo, so that's 1 bag of sugar. I say I'm going to go for half, so that's about half the bag of sugar there. And then I'm going to pour on my boiling water. So you can use 1.5 litres of boiling water to 1 kilo. And I just want to pour all that in and then dissolve the sugar. If you're finding it difficult to dissolve, then you could just quickly pop it in the microwave, or you could always pop it in a saucepan and then dissolve that. But that's nice and hot, so that sugar's dissolving really well. Okay. Then I want to put my flowers in. So I'm just going to trim some of those. And as the flowers hit the water, that sugar water, the fragrance is released even more, and it's beautiful. It's so nice. Here we are. So just make sure they're completely submerged. Okay, so I'm just going to bring you up. As I said, I'm having a few problems. So there we are. A few problems with the tripod breaking, but that's what it looks like at this point. Then we want to add the zest and juice of lemons. So I hope I'm not confusing you by doing this, but as I say, I'm just going to be using 2 lemons because I'm using half the mixture. But if you want to do the full mixture, then you use 3. For the full 1.5 litres, then you use 3. But the ingredients are all above. So while I'm doing this, have you noticed the change in the seasons as well? Please do pop in the comments. Let us know what you've seen this week that really makes you feel like summer is on the way. Or maybe it's not for you where you're living, where you live right now. Or just pop in and say hi. It's always nice to know who's watching. If anyone's out there, it's always great to know. Oh, and I wish you could smell this too. And I've just realised I didn't bring a knife in with me to halve my lemon and juice it, but I'll improvise. So just the zest, we don't really want the pith because that could turn it bitter. And apologies if my foraging do's and don'ts did sound a little bit stern, but as we know, we do need to take care of the environment. We need to do things responsibly, sustainably. So, you know, just be kind to the environment and it will be kind to you back. Okay, almost there. Okay. So we'll just do a little recap. We are making Elderflower Cordial today on the Virtual Village Hall. There you go, neatly packaged. I've got in here sugar, boiling water, the heads of elderflowers, as you can see there. And I've also put, I apologise about this, my tripod's gone and broken, but I've put in there also the zest of 2 lemons. So now I need to add the juice. And don't try this at home, but I'm going to cut this with a craft knife because I've managed to leave my knife downstairs. There we go. So let's squeeze those lemons in. And the last one. It's actually a really quick process and it's nice because you get to go outside as well. It's a good one for children to do because you get to be outside and you're just counting the seasons really. It's nice as the seasons change to do different things. I know as a kid we always had like little highlights, seasonal change highlights. You know, autumn it will always be blackberry picking. Or picking the damsons. Early summer, the elderflowers. So it's nice to have those little milestones all throughout the year. Okay. So just give it a nice stir. Sorry, I'm not doing very well here. There we go. And then I'm just going to cover that with a clean tea towel. And I want to leave it on the side for 24 hours, just for all those lovely flavours to infuse. And when that is done, I want to take some bottles. So make sure that you sterilise them. You can either do that with Milton tablets, or you can do it by giving them a really good wash with hot soapy water, rinsing them out, and then just leaving them in an oven, just very, very low, sort of for about 10 minutes, and that will sterilise those. And then what you need to do, use your runcible spoon to take out all of the elderflowers and any bits of lemon zest that you can. Take your funnel, pop that into your bottle. Use a very clean piece of muslin or a tea cloth. Pop that in, and then what you would do is just pour your liquid in right up to the top. Seal it, add a little label if you like, and which then can be given away as presents, beautiful little homemade presents, or you can keep them for yourself all throughout the summer, just sipping your lovely cool summer drinks. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope that's encouraged you to get outside, be with nature, to make something responsibly from nature and to enjoy. I hope the sun continues to shine and you have an amazing day today and an amazing summer. And I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.